for tuning into the Matt Ramage Show, presented by Quick Trip. What is up, beautiful people? We are here. Thank you for tuning in. We got Alex Strouf joining me in the building today. Haven't talked to Alex in quite some time. I'm pretty jacked up to bring him in. So let's bring him in this thing. What is up, Alex? How are you doing? We got some music.
What is this beat we got going on? DJ Matt Ramage.
Yo, we getting it. But let's get rid of that thing. And I actually got, check this out. Boom, Alex Strouf. Wow. You got your own overlay. Nice. I've been working on some stuff, Alex. You know, trying to up the game a little bit. You know what I mean?
I'll just say, Matty, I don't know what the hell happened to you, because back when you and I used to do a lot of shows together, you were way too drunk to figure any of this stuff out. What happened to you?
Dude, I've been trying to learn a little bit. I'm still a little buzzed up.
Good for you, man. It looks great. It looks great. Good for you. Hope you're well, buddy. It's been way too long. I think the last time you and I chatted in a recorded version, it was what? Probably before the season started?
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a long time.
It's crazy, because in the 2020 season, 2020 season, we were doing the show together every week after the game. And you know, we had the same result this season, so I guess you can't blame it on us.
Yeah, it's definitely not our fault. But how you been? You're doing your thing on ESPN Madison. I see. You know, you're producing, and you're doing a little bit of hosting too, aren't you?
Yeah, doing all of the above. But yeah, the big project right now is we just announced last week. The Olympic gold medalist curler back in China right now, Matt Hamilton. He's a Madison area guy, just absolute goofball. Love that guy. He is going to be joining our show full time. So it'll be called Rutledge and Hamilton. I'll be the executive producer and kind of the third voice on the show, 2 to 4 every weekday. So really looking forward to getting that going. But in the meantime, you can still catch me 2 to 4 every weekday with Jim Rutledge, and we're having some fun.
That's awesome, dude. I said this like since we like very first started talking, like, you know, even before last season, like we were talking, you were with Game On Sky, and before that, Cream Central.
Yeah.
I always said, yo, Alex is going to be on the radio. I mean, I think you knew that probably like in the 8th grade or something. But you're good. You have that voice. You know what I mean? You got the knowledge. You got all the things that it takes. And I'm happy to see you doing your thing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do something in this realm, right? Like, I've always wanted to get into radio. I mean, I fell in love with it when I was really young. But, you know, you mentioned 8th grade. Like, I hadn't even hit puberty yet, so I had no idea what the hell my voice was going to sound like, right? Like, who wants Alvin and the Chipmunks on the radio dial? So, no, it's been a blast. Just moved to Madison less than a year ago. So, loving the area, loving the city. And finally getting the opportunity now to go out, shake some hands, meet some people in the area. So with COVID kind of calming down, I guess, not really, but still events are back at least. So no, it's been great, and I appreciate the kind words. But hey, from kind words to mean words, I don't know if you just saw this come across just a second ago, Matty. Well, Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan head coach, says to Minnesota, but Minnesota has hired their next head coach. That is the Los Angeles Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell. They will make it official after the Super Bowl. So Minnesota Vikings new head coach, not the guy they wanted. Kevin O'Connell, the offensive coordinator of the Rams. It's a good hire, but not as good as Harbaugh. So Vikings fans.
That's actually a little bit breaking news, because I knew that Harbaugh was out. I posted about it on my Facebook, kind of trolling Viking fans a little bit, because Viking fans were tagging me in it on Facebook, you know, and Harbaugh was there. Like, what do you think? What's your honest opinion? I was like, I think that would be a good hire for them. And then when I don't know if it would have been, but in my opinion, I think he's a good football coach. I don't know, like if you'd have brought him to the promised land or whatever, but I think that he'd have been a good hire. So when he pulled out, or however that happened, that made me laugh quite hard. I'm over here just like preparing. I'm listening to some DMX. I'm jamming out, having a few beers. I'm not really preparing. I'm just standing next to my computer playing music, drinking beer. But what's to prepare? But that came across. I was like, that's a beautiful thing. I love it. So who they hired the offensive coordinator from the Rams? That'll be so.
what
do you know about him? You know anything about him? Because I sure don't.
No, I don't.
You're supposed to be a smart person, Alex.
I'm not smart, dude. I'm just as clueless as you are, if not more clueless. I like there was a point, and you bring up kind of the steps that I've taken the last few years, right? Going from like a drunk college kid to a drunk adult that has a job now. Like I used to pretend I knew what the hell I was talking about. But they use that saying, "Fake it till you make it." That's crap, man. Like I know what I don't know, and I don't know much about Kevin O'Connell, right? Sean McVay is a play caller. He's the offensive genius. He's learned behind him. He's coming from a very good tree with a very good track record, right? Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, all part of that tree. He's the next Matt LaFleur, essentially, if we look at it that way. So I assume it's a good hire. I mean,
I assume that that whole tree, because like you learn from the guys who who are above you, and the guys who are above them were pretty good. So exactly. I would assume it's not horrible, but
so he must have. If my math is correct here, O'Connell would have taken over for Matt LaFleur as the offensive coordinator of the Rams. Correct? No, I take that back. LaFleur was the quarterback coach in LA, right? Do you know his tree?
I'm not really sure what he was. I know that he was in Tennessee at one point.
Right. He was the OC of Tennessee before they hired him.
Yeah, because I remember Cowherd was trolling, saying, "Oh, he was in Tennessee. The offense is horrible." Yeah,
I got that right. So I got it right. He was the offensive coordinator in LA for a year. That was in 2017. In 2018, he went to the Titans, and then he was hired as the Packers head coach in 19. So that year before they went to the Super Bowl, he was the OC there. So I assume then chain of events tells me Kevin O'Connell would have taken over for him. So this was Matt LaFleur's replacement with the LA Rams, and now he's the head coach of the Vikings in the same division as Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, that's interesting because what will Matt LaFleur know about what they're probably going to try to do over there? And what will they know about kind of what Matt LaFleur? I mean, I think everyone kind of knows what Matt LaFleur is doing now. He's been doing it for a minute. Right. But, it's interesting. All right, so I want to talk to you about a lot of things.
Yeah, let's get to it.
We have to talk about I got to get your opinion on the whole Aaron Rodgers.
Here we go. Yeah.
There are sources coming out of the woodwork. I just made a Facebook post like joking around. One day I'll have a source. My source will tell you things. I'll tell you. I'll write per sources, and it'll be a good old time. But I don't think if I did have a source, if someone like whispered in my ear, which would never happen because they'd find someone better than me.
Because you'd get
nobody
drunk
would believe
and talk
me.
about
Nobody would believe me.
Right? Also,
they'd be like, Matt's drunk. He's just making things up now. But all the rumors, because I get that not every rumor is fake, but I don't believe most of what I hear, especially if it's like someone I never heard of before.
Yeah.
And they're like, like this thing in Tennessee. I think it's a radio personality or whatever.
Yeah,
not saying it's not true, but some of them are like, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers said he'll go here, but he wants Devontae Adams, MVS." Like, I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers be like, "I'll go there, but I'm bringing all these people with me." Like,
well, yeah. So today when I read that, it was from I forget the first name, but Stillman. He's on The Game in Nashville, so he's like a local radio guy in Nashville. He's pretty reputable, right? I don't know the legitimacy of the report, but assuming you listen to the clip, given what you just said, right? He referenced like 3 different sources, which was just funny to me. And again, I can't tell whether it's true or not, but when I read that on Twitter, we actually had Matt Schneidman of The Athletic on the show at the time. So I asked him about it, and his response was just funny to me, right? And it's on my Twitter if you want to go listen to it after we're done here. But, he said, well, I've heard Aaron Rodgers is buying property in Pittsburgh. I heard he's buying it in Southern California. He's selling something in Southern California. Now he's buying land in Tennessee. Who knows? Maybe he'll buy some land in Denver next. Like, it's there's reports everywhere, right? I mean, it's super reminiscent, and the whole situation isn't, but this part of it is super reminiscent of Favre Watch back in the day, right? When we were trying to figure out what the heck Favre was doing. It's the same thing with Rodgers. Everybody's going to jump at every little thing they hear. We did it last summer even, Matt, right? Do you remember the day where the story came out that Aaron Rodgers renewed his Green Bay Country Club subscription?
You know what's funny about that Green Bay Country Club subscription is that happened in my Packer group. I have a Facebook Packer group called the Green Bay Packer Backers, which I started when I started my Facebook page, and I was still a meme page back then. Someone told me, hey, you got to start a group
Wait, hold on. You were still a meme page back then. What are you now?
Yeah, because I was, I'm me. But back then I was Packer memes. I just made memes. My face wasn't involved.
Oh, okay.
And then I started doing all the stupid stuff I do now. But that group is where that leaked, or like where that came out. Someone said, "Hey, I work at this," or my girlfriend works at this country club, and she said Aaron Rodgers renewed his thing or whatever, and we kind of laughed about it. But then all of a sudden it was like Pat McAfee, it was like all over the place, and I was like, and I didn't want people to know it was my group. I was just kind of like, I don't want to be.
Yeah, well, so I dug into that just because I was like, why the hell is this even being released? So you know, I hit some people up, my sources, quote unquote.
Oh, Alex, not you got sources.
No, I don't. I hit up my sources close to the situation, and essentially all I heard was an employee released that and got fired. Right?
It's probably the girlfriend of the dude that posted it in my
group. Oh no, I sure hope not. But imagine if they would have gotten back to you. What if we held you responsible for leaking that information?
I don't even control the group. I got people who moderate the group or whatever. But I like obviously they said that's like an automatic thing. Anyways, that don't matter. But yeah, like these stories will never like end. But I was saying earlier, like at work, as we were talking about all these, you know, Aaron Rodgers buying a house here, he's buying a house there. Yeah. I was like, maybe he is going to retire and he's going into realtor. He's going into real estate.
Yeah, just built these multi-million-dollar mansions all over the U.S. and just sell them.
He's flipping mansions now. That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. But
hey, no. Your source tells you Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I have a source. He's an alcoholic. He lives over by the liquor store. He tells me stuff.
He lives outside of the liquor store.
Yeah, he lives outside the liquor store. Also, aliens are coming. But so last year I argued with people. Anybody who said anything about Aaron Rodgers not coming back, I argued with them to the death. This year, not as much. But like I still do a little bit because some of the stories I just don't believe. And then people come at me on Facebook like,
hold on.
"Oh, you're so biased. You don't think this." And I'm like, "No, there's a chance that he's not coming back. Like I don't know that he is.
What do you think?
I just don't
What's
believe
your
every
gut tell you
story.
right now? What's your gut?
I think he's coming back. I as of right now, that could change. But like he stayed in Green Bay for a few days. According to sources, not my sources, but other people's sources.
Well, yeah, and like the big takeaway from that was the Packers were quote unquote cautiously optimistic. And I talked about it on the Pack a Day podcast the other day. Like, what the hell does cautiously optimistic even mean? Right? Like, it's like expecting heartbreak, but maybe hoping for the best. You're like 55% positive, 45% negative. Like, I've never understood the phrase cautiously optimistic. But yeah, I mean, it's good. There's obviously an open line of communication open that wasn't there last year. You know, he described his feelings with Brian Gutekunst as a quote unquote friendship. So we've made progress, but that's still, and I'm not a cap expert. We've talked about this many times, Matty, right? Like those numbers are way too big for me to digest. But it's going to be hard to bring him back. And if they bring him back, there's going to be other repercussions. But you're always a contender if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. And, you know, from what we can tell right now, people that are in the know aren't super confident in Jordan Love's ability. We haven't seen a ton of him. I think it's way too early to count him out. But I can tell you one thing, he's not Aaron Rodgers, right? So you're as a fan of the team, of course I want Aaron Rodgers back. I want a better chance to win. Winning's fun.
Yeah, dude, like I actually compared to this because people were like, well, if Aaron Rodgers leaves, you're not going to be as good. I'm like, yeah, no duh. It's like,
right.
If you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback, you're not as good the next year. That's
just, believe it or not, when Michael Jordan left the Bulls, they weren't winning titles.
Dude, that's what it is. Like someone asked me, like, do you want Aaron Rodgers back? I'm like, yes, I want him back. I compare it like this. Would you rather watch a Pat McAfee show or the Matt Ramage show? Like, if you had the option, if we're at the same time,
I'd rather watch the Matt Ramage show. I'd rather watch it. Unless it's Tuesday, unless it's Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m. during the football season. I'd rather watch the Matt Ramage show.
And I don't say that to disrespect Jordan Love, compare him to me. But no, but like you'd rather have, but like, there's a whole other thing to it. Like there's a cap situation. Like here's my thing. if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, the Packers get a whole bunch of picks. We ride with Jordan Love or whatever they decide. If they go another way, like I would assume they're going to ride with Jordan Love, like they draft him for a reason.
See,
But
I'm
if
so
they
torn on
decide
that.
that, yeah,
I'm
if
so
they,
torn on that.
yeah, if because you can't just
You
they
got to
can't say,
bring in
well, we
competition.
drafted him, so we got to, you know, what I mean, so like if they think he's good enough, then they're going to roll with him.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers is not in the picture, but so like if Rodgers is out, then they get a bunch of draft picks and they kind of build for the future.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a rebuild mode. I think it's kind of I think they got a good enough team around them where they can try to. You know, what I mean, I don't think they have to tear it down and like, you know, like a Browns type deal. I think that they would try to win. You know, it's probably not going to be.
Look, I don't know. Neither of us can.
Tell me, hey, first of all, Alex, tell me. I'm gonna give you a wide screen here. I'm gonna give you the whole screen because people don't want to look at me anyway. But what do you think? Is Aaron Rodgers coming back? And like you asked me, what's your gut tell you?
My gut tells me no. My heart tells me yes. My brain tells me nobody knows besides Aaron. Right? Like, I'm so torn on it because, for obvious reasons, right? There's the cap issue. Obviously, they need to restructure, and that's more than a one-year thing if they restructure. So it's either Aaron Rodgers until he retires, and we don't get Jordan Love, and then it's a wait. I mean, there's so many avenues this could go, right? This is a real multiple forks in the road situation. I don't think he's back. I think he's probably in Denver. I think that just seems like the most obvious destination for him if he is to leave. I would power rank it this way, Maddie. I'll give you my top 4 options for Aaron Rodgers in order. I think number 1 most likely is Denver. I think second most likely is Green Bay. I think third most likely is the other 30 teams. And I think the fourth most likely is he retires. There's no way he retires in my mind. I don't think that's happening at all. I think Denver makes the most sense, obviously, for all the coaching reasons we already know of. And they have the capital and, you know, to compensate for 2 years or whatever, or 3 years, however they want to do it. And it's not in the NFC. So you're trading conferences. And then, yeah, obviously you have the relationship with Hackett and company. So I think if the price is right, I think that makes the most sense where he'll go. And then I think it's Green Bay. And that would be the conversation that took place last week that left the Packers cautiously optimistic. I think it makes sense for a lot of reasons. I mean, he's played his entire career here. He's talked about wanting to play his entire career here. Everything he asked for last offseason when he was disgruntled and didn't want to come back, everything he asked for then, he got this season, right? Randall Cobb was a Packer for a reason. You know, Brian Gutekunst went and made those low-risk, high-reward moves in Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas. Everything he wanted, he got. So it just makes sense. You know, that makes the second most sense. But I also don't doubt him wanting to leave. I think that draft pick of Jordan Love pissed him off so much that he'll be stubborn enough to leave. And I don't blame him, right? Like, I don't blame a 38-year-old guy who's played in his entire career in one spot for wanting to go explore other options. Denver would be pretty damn appealing if I was Aaron Rodgers, Matt. So that's how I see it playing out. I think Denver makes the most sense, but I could certainly see a Green Bay happening. I think it's between those two, really. And, you know, I don't have those aforementioned sources, right? Like, it's not like I'm having any conversations that nobody else is aware of. But those two seem like the most likely to me. So that's where my head's at. There's my really long answer for your really simple question.
I like it. That was a good answer. Look at this. Oh, that's not working. My whole mixture just broke right before I went live. Anyways, I had an applause there, but the whole thing broke. Anyways, yeah, because like I want to get off this topic and go on to other stuff, but I think like Matthew Stafford going to the Rams, he went all in. He's in the Super Bowl.
It's not the same though.
It's
not the same.
It's not at all the same, but like, you know, Brady going to the Bucks and then he did what his thing. So I wonder in Rodgers' mind if he's like, you know, these guys can do it. Like maybe I can. Maybe it's not just like I go here and it's a better team. Maybe it's just like it's refound life. That team is jacked. They got a Hall of Fame quarterback, and like that was the missing beat. Like Denver, a lot of people say that's missing. I don't want that to happen, and especially Denver, because like me as a fan,
sure,
because the fans went at me all last offseason, I talked a lot of trash to Bronco fans. And I was going at him. Like, not as much this offseason, because now, to me, in my mind, it's a little bit more, maybe. But last year, I was going at him. And me and Bronco fans, we do not vibe together that much anymore.
What fan base do you vibe with?
Not many. Even Washington fans got mad at me because I made a video today joking about the Commanders.
Sounds about right, man. You're always picking fights.
Well, you think about it, like the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. It sounds like if there was a movie or a TV show and they didn't get the rights from the NFL, they didn't want to pay them. That's the team that they would name it, the Washington Commanders. Because they always have like some generic name in the movies or TV show, and it's funny because a former Packer, I think it's Dejon Harris. He plays for Washington. He commented on my Instagram and he said, "Chill."
DeJuan Harris, the former running back.
DeJuan Harris, He follows me on Instagram and commented on it because I was like saying, "This sounds like a movie football team that didn't want to pay the NFL."
It's one of the better analogies I've heard. Look,
I get it. Nobody would be happy with that team name. Doesn't matter what they named it.
Exactly.
Because you're just used to the Falcons, the Eagles. They're out of animals. You know what I mean?
Well, we were talking about it on the Jump Around today, and Jim Rutledge made a great point, right? Like, I really like the Washington football team name. I didn't from the get-go, but I've grown to really like it. And Jim pretty much said, look, pretty much every mascot name in sports is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And then he ran through a list, which I won't do, but and then he's like, in a year we'll be used to it. It sounds goofy right now because it's new.
Oh yeah, like, and that's what it is.
And then he made a point that I'm going to steal from him because it was so good. I think the only nickname in sports that's like really like, wow, that's pretty badass is a brand new team in the Seattle Kraken in the NHL. Like, that's an awesome name.
What is it?
The Seattle Kraken.
Kraken.
You're not a hockey fan, huh?
No, I'm not.
I'm not either, but
yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say I'm not a hockey fan. I just don't really watch it that much.
Yeah, I don't hate hockey. They're they get at each other. They're tough guys and all the things.
Something like that.
I'm not. No, but yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter what the name was. People were gonna make fun of it. They're probably gonna call them the Washington Commies at some point. That's probably gonna happen.
Oof.
That's what everyone's talking about because you shorten it. Like the Seahawks or the Hawks. A lot of people, they kind of shorten the Patriots or the Pats.
The Steelers?
You know what I mean?
Nobody shortens the Steelers.
No, but a lot of teams, they're short.
Yeah, the Jaguars or the Jags.
Yeah, so people are going to shorten. I won't shorten it. I don't talk about Washington anyways.
Yeah, they're not relevant. They're not relevant enough to be made fun of by you,
radar
right?
I talk about them. Right. But I didn't know that Washington fans followed me because after I made that video, they were DMing me like,
it'll always get found, right? It'll always get dug up.
Yeah. But so like, let's talk about the rest of the like, what's up, Mark? We got to give a shout out to Mark over here. That is why I put you on the solo cam.
Yeah, yeah, you didn't mute your mic either. Just in the middle of my terrific answer, you just cracked a beer.
You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. All right, so the rest of this football team, the rest of the Packers, outside Aaron Rodgers. All right, so who do you see the Packers losing? Like, Zadarius Smith kind of made a subliminal goodbye. I don't know if it was subliminal. He was kind of like, thanks, Green Bay. Yeah, he was kind of like, I don't think he expects to be back. Who are the guys that you expect? Like, obviously, it's different. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, it's a whole different thing. But who do you expect? Like, this defense played really good.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game.
All right, let's play a game.
Throw a name at me. I'll tell you if I think they're back or not.
All right, Preston Smith.
Yes, I think he's back.
All right, that's all I need to know. You know what's funny is I got 2 brand new jerseys for Christmas. I got Eric Stokes and Rashawn Gary. Two guys who I love. Great jerseys to get. But Preston Smith jersey was lucky. Packers are winning. Preston Smith was doing pretty good. And he commented on one of my Instagram posts. He said, "You're my lucky guy." So I was like, I told my wife, I was like, no disrespect, but I can't wear these jerseys.
Yeah,
on game day.
So
and I don't walk around wearing jerseys on a Tuesday.
Did you wear your Preston Smith jersey to the playoff loss?
Yeah, I did. And what's funny is that jersey is kind of smaller, and I was,
Oh, brother, Brother, let me tell you. So I had, and I say this past tense now, a lucky jersey. My Charles Woodson jersey that I've had since I was, I don't know, well, I'm 23, so I've probably had it since I was 11, 12.
Yeah.
I've had it over a decade. Doesn't fit me at all. But I wore it to the Packers game against 49ers because, you know, I was fanning it up. Every time I've worn that jersey to Lambeau Field, the Packers have won. So I think it's time to retire the Charles Woodson jersey, unfortunately. But that's been my lucky jersey for like a decade.
You were at the Niners game?
I was.
I didn't see you. I was in row 3 in the end zone.
Whoa, nice. I had some pretty nice seats. Yeah. I was in, I don't even remember where they were. They were on like the 30-yard line, like 40 rows up. Great view, could see everything. Now let me tell you my story from that game, though, because this is bad.
Hang on,
because
I'm gonna give you your own screen for this one.
Well, earlier you said, you know, something along the lines of they can't blame us for the loss. I'm about to change your opinion there. So there was a 49ers fan about 2 rows behind me, and he was chirping throughout the game, but got real loud in the fourth quarter. It was still 10-3 at that point. So I turned around, said, "Hey, buddy, can you read? Check the scoreboard." It's 10-3. Well, about 15 seconds later, it was 10-10 because the very next play was the blocked punt. I turned around immediately after saying that, and then the blocked punt happened. Just said, "Never mind, my bad."
Did he let it slide?
Yeah, he was cool about it.
Right.
but yeah, that was brutal. That was a tough look for the guy. So I partially blame myself, but also like you got to do a little bit of shit talking, as you know.
Yeah, I went live on Facebook for the end of the game, right? So the end of that game, I got I had a great group around me. Like the crowd around me was so awesome. I was live a few times before, and you know, I was like showing everybody, and everyone was kind of jacked up. And they didn't know who I was, but they were like, "This guy's recording us, yay!" You know, what I mean, like it was just like everybody was kind of tipsy. We didn't sit the whole game, you know. A lot of times you sit in section, maybe on the playoffs, my first playoff game, but like you know,
no, I stood the entire game until the end.
I stood and everyone around me did too. So at the end of the game, through like the last few defensive plays, and then they kicked the field goal, I was live. And then so there's one Niners fan that was by us, and he was really cool. Like I had him on my show.
Yeah, I saw that
just the other night. And so some girls started yelling at him, and they were just like throwing F-bombs at each other because he was celebrating. He was jumping up on the stands, you know, and
yeah,
you know,
get after it, dude. Right?
Yeah. Have a good time. You won. That's what happened. But
exactly.
So this girl's cussed him out, but it turns out like I was like, I think that this is his friend. You know, I mean, that's why they're having this argument or whatever.
Little banter.
Yeah. So everyone like on my live is like, oh, you know, Niners fans are jumping in. Oh, Packer fans are horrible. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's his friend. So I was like, I got to get him on the show to like find out, was that his friend?
Did you confirm?
Yeah, it was his friend.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna trash her. She had a few too many drinks. That was her friend. That's why she was calling him out. Like she's a good person. Like I'm not, you know, I'm sure she's wonderful. But she was irritated by her friend jumping up and down.
Rightfully so, right.
He was screaming, "Go home" and all this stuff. But I didn't care. I was right behind him, and I was like, "Dude, you need to calm down because you're." But then I found out he's like a fitness, you know, coach. I was like, he'd have been all right. I saw him on Instagram. Right. I was like, he didn't need my help. This fat guy is gonna protect him. No, he didn't need my help.
He doesn't need me. Right.
He was cool though. He was awesome. Like when you win, you get to celebrate. You get to have a good time.
Hey man, that was the first time. So I've only been to 2 playoff games. I was at the Seattle divisional game, and that would have been 2019, and then I was at this one. And obviously, we were very happy after the Seattle game in 2019 because we won that one. But this one, it was different. So I left the stadium and I was walking down Armed Forces Drive right in front of the Resch Center to Stadium View there, and I saw like 3 different Packer on Packer fights. Like I'd never seen Packers fans fight each other before. That was a brand new experience for me. And like I get it. It's 10:30 p.m. We just got eliminated out of the playoffs. Everybody's drunk and upset. I get it. But man, I had never seen that before. I've seen other teams fight themselves. Never seen Packers fans do it.
I've never seen a fight at Lambeau. I've never been part of one. I would never be part of one. Because first of all, when I get drunk,
good for you.
Happy. Yeah, I mean, like
me too.
But like, you know, I'm a happy guy when I'm drunk.
Me too.
I don't. I was bummed. I was very upset. I actually made a ranty video on my phone walking out, and I didn't post it. I was like, I probably shouldn't post it. I said some stuff.
You'll have to play that on the show at some point. Like give it a few months, let everybody get over it, and then play your reaction from that night. That's good content.
I was so very mad, but like everyone is. It sucked. We should have won the game. We should be in the Super Bowl. Like I think the Packers are the best team in the NFL, but that's what it is. You win or you lose. Anyway, we got a question over here. We got people talking. Sure. All right, bringing up the Cobb thing. Was it worth bringing him back in the long run of things? Because I don't. We might be better. Do you think it was worth bringing Cobb? I'll let you go first.
My answer is to be determined. If Aaron Rodgers is back in 2022, the answer is yes. If Aaron Rodgers isn't back in 2022, the answer is up to you. I mean, he wasn't that expensive. He had a few nice games. He helped us win a game or two, right? So I would still say yes. Obviously, you can't predict injuries, so that's a bad break for Randall. But I would argue yes right now. If Rodgers is back in 2022, then definitely yes. I think I talked earlier about bridging that gap of communication, right, between him and Gutekunst. Once that move was made, I think Gutekunst won a lot of Rodgers' trust back over. And that's why that conversation happened last week, or Rodgers stayed in Green Bay for an extra 4 or 5 days or whatever it was. So, yeah, I think the answer right now is yes. I don't know that you can ever definitively give an answer of is it worth it, but that would be my answer.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But first of all, what is up, Rick? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Rick.
But yeah, I think my answer is kind of the same. Like, it made Aaron Rodgers happy, like going through a thing. He wasn't,
and that mattered way more than what Randall Cobb was ever going to do. We said that. I mean, I said that from the day they traded.
Yeah,
him.
And Randall Cobb isn't like some charity case. Like it's not like they signed his like stepbrother who's a bum. Like it's Randall Cobb. Like he's a good wide receiver. Obviously not what he was. He's a little older bit now. But just because you get old doesn't mean you can't still get out there and get at it. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit old.
If you're trying to be the poster child,
well,
I'm not getting after it.
I'm not.
I don't know that we're in good shape.
For me, it wouldn't be like playing anything athletic or running or anything like that. But like, if these young guys think that they can drink with me, like, oh, he's old. I mean, I'm Randall Cobb, bro. I can still get after it.
You're a grizzled cat.
By the end of the night, I might be hurt, but I'm still gonna get after it. You know what I mean? But all right. So what about the young guys? Rasul Douglas, Brain Freeze, and Campbell. Are those both going to be back? One going to be back? What are you thinking on that?
Yeah, that one's kind of tough. I like if Rodgers is back, I think it's definitely only one of them. If Rodgers isn't back, there's definitely potential for both. Obviously, Devondre Campbell made himself some money this year, and I don't know that he'll get all of it in Green Bay. So I would think it's more likely Rasul Douglas is back than Devondre Campbell. But I don't know. If Rodgers is back, I'll say Rasul's back. If Rodgers isn't back, there's a legitimate chance they're both back. But I would say more than likely, regardless, I would say Rasul, not Devondre. That's the answer. How's that for an answer? Was that really deserving of a solo screen?
I'm not sure it was. I regret that decision. No, but I kind of agree. I think if Rodgers is back, if he's not back, it's a big difference. A lot of guys, whether they can afford, a lot more, just one or two or whatever here and there. But right. I think that this defense, like, if Aaron Rodgers isn't back, like, this defense played really good in that divisional game. Obviously, like, they're the reason that they were kind of in that thing.
I'm so torn, Matty.
Because
like,
they weren't
I still don't have a solid takeaway of that game. Like, yeah, the defense definitely played well, but how good is the San Francisco offense? Like Deebo Samuel's awesome.
Yeah.
George Kittle's pretty good. I got nothing else nice to say about that offense.
What about Jimmy G? Yeah, I got no.
I despise, like, he is very handsome by all means, but I despise watching that man play football. Like
Yeah,
I don't like the way he runs offenses. I really never have. Like when he got traded from New England, I thought he was going to be awesome. But it's like he wasn't. And then he was dealing with like 3 separate injuries against the Packers. He had a bum shoulder, a bum thumb, and a bum wrist, I believe it was. So it's like everything he did looked gross against the Packers, and it didn't look a whole lot better against Los Angeles last week. So anyway, yes, the defense played well. So yeah, I'm torn on that. The offense sucked outside of the first 5 minutes. I mean, it just flat out sucked. And all that, I mean, not all of it, but a lot of that blame goes on Aaron Rodgers, which is too bad because we know how good he is. And for him to just show up that flat against San Francisco was so disappointing. I'm still very upset about that loss. I'm not like there's the 5 stages of grief, right? Denial. What's the order? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. I never really hit the bargaining phase, right? It was denial at first. Then for like 4 straight days, it was just solid anger. Then it was depression for a few days. And then the NFC Championship game happened. Then it was just back to anger.
Yeah, I'm not sure I went through all those. I think I might have.
I'm still kind of a tweener between depression and anger. And I don't know that I'll get to acceptance for a while. Like that loss physically hurt me as much as the 2014 game against Seattle.
And like last year's too did for me. Like I feel like those.
Like last year was definitely a missed chance.
Yeah, I felt like I felt similar, but not really because it was like horrible special team. And I think Aaron Rodgers deserves criticism. Like people think that he's like uncriticizable, but like he deserves a little bit. That offense didn't.
Batty, come on. If this season has taught us anything, people criticize Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm talking about the fans. I'm not talking about outsiders.
I got you.
Because they're quite all right with criticizing Aaron Rodgers, even when he doesn't deserve it. But a lot of fans, if you say it, like, because I said it afterwards, I was like, Aaron Rodgers didn't play. You know, he should have played better. I think that at what he is. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's fantastic. I defend him to the death sometimes, but like he didn't play great in that game. Obviously, the Niners defense isn't like some slouches, but like that offense, I feel like should have done a little more. Maybe it's not all Rodgers. Maybe it's some play call. Maybe whatever how it went. But and that's why I'm still. Maybe I am in depression mode. I don't know. I thought I was angry, but as I talk about it, because I don't talk, I said I'm not talking about this game anymore. I think I was mad. I was in anger mode. I was like, I'm not talking about this game anymore. And this is the last time I'll ever do it because it hurts. But like, I love Aaron. I hope he's back. But if he's not, there's going to be like some perks.
Look, I'll tell you what. If he goes to Denver, they are my second favorite team. Between Hackett and Justin Outten and then Rodgers and then maybe even Devontae, like I will cheer for the Broncos in the AFC. The Packers and Broncos face. Obviously, I'm cheering for the Packers every day of the week. But I want to see Rodgers succeed if he leaves. Like,
the same thing when Favre left and he went to the
when he was with the Vikings, not so much. But when
the Vikings, I lost friends when he went to the Vikings, like in real life friends, because I'd make fun of Favre. There was a video of Favre getting hit in his junk, like at practice.
Oh boy!
Like a ball, like they were practicing. And someone
did you Vine about it? Or
he wasn't looking. And no, I put it on Facebook, my little personal page. I didn't have the page I have now, and I kept posting it like every day because I thought it was funny. I like the hell of Favre. He plays for the Vikings. I don't root for Vikings players. I don't care if it's my son. I do not root for Vikings players. And real life friends were like mad at me and they unfriended me and they never talked to him since. They're like, the hell with you. I mean, not like I hung out with him all the time. It was like I was friends with him in 9th grade. But still, I was like, why are you mad? It's like football. But anyways, if Rodgers plays the Broncos, like I'm not gonna be like, I hate the Broncos, so I'm not gonna be like, I hope he does well and like unless it's to the Packers, but like I don't know if I'll be like cheering him on. Like I never bought a Brett Favre Jets jersey. I won't be buying no Aaron Rodgers Broncos jersey. I have no problem with anybody else that does. Everyone should do fan how they want to fan.
I was gonna say that sounds like a personal attack because I definitely had a Favre Jets jersey. I think I had 2 of them actually.
No, I'm good with everybody like how they do their thing, but I just can't. I can't wear another jersey. I feel like it brings bad mojo on me. Like I feel like Bart Starr's gonna come by and
smack you over the dome, right? Yeah.
No, but like I'm the everyone should fan how they do. Have a good time. Whatever makes you happy. Like I don't care if you have 16 favorite teams. Like I don't care how anybody. And I'm not saying that that's the same. You know, like Brady fans, like Patriot fans, they went over to they supported them in the Bucks. Different conference. There's nothing wrong with like I'm gonna trash Patriot fans just because like the hell with them. But no, but everyone should have a good time. You know what I mean? If Rodgers leaves, I'm not gonna be like all like hateful and like the hell with them.
No.
I'm gonna be like, hey,
it's impossible to be right. Like that dude, regardless of, and I know a lot of fans are. I kind of get it, but also it's so hard to win the Super Bowl. But like a lot of fans, big gripe with Rodgers is how the hell has he only led us to one Super Bowl? And Favre got a lot of that too. I don't get it, man. It's so hard to win.
It takes so much.
I don't care who you are
than a quarterback.
And it's fun. Like, it's fun this year, Matty, to see the opposites of how the teams got there, right? Like you mentioned it earlier, the Rams went all in. They traded a boatload for Stafford. They went out and traded for Von Miller. They went out and acquired Odell Beckham Jr. And there's a longer list than that, but you get the point, right? They went all in. They went outside. They made the moves. They kind of went quote unquote super team on us. Whereas the Bengals, like they're pretty much all homegrown. Like it's draft picks, it's guys on rookie contracts. It's kind of like reminiscent in a way of the Packers in 2010. Like it was a team nobody expected could make this run. If I told you before the playoffs the Rams made the Super Bowl, that wouldn't have shocked you. You would have been like, wow, the Bucks and Packers lost? Whoa. But you wouldn't have been like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. I told you the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. You're like, okay, what drugs are you on? Can I have some? Because you don't expect that. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Is Mike Daniels still a Bengal?
He is.
Good for Mike.
That is one reason. All right, so I'm going to make actually a video this week. Reasons to root for each team. In like my eyes.
Fun.
But one of the reasons, a lot of the reasons, I'm all in on the Bengals.
Me too.
I'm not like rooting for them. They're not my new favorite team because whenever I say that, people get mad. Like, I'm not a Packer fan. No, but like these are the two teams that are in the Super Bowl, and I get like the whole Matthew Stafford thing, and I all love the Matthew Stafford. I think he's, it's cool for him. His wife is over there buying tickets for people, and they're having a good time, and good for them. And if the Rams win, cool for Matt Stafford because he was like basically in prison. And he didn't do anything wrong. He's like an innocent man in prison. He gets out, gets a cool job, makes $1 million, whatever. It's kind of the same thing with Stafford. Like he was like in like NFL purgatory, and then he gets traded, goes to Super Bowl, and that's all good. But the Bengals are like a small market team. Like no one really expected them. They kind of built it. I think a lot of these teams that win a Super Bowl, like the Packers and Super Bowl 45. You think about the Giants teams. A lot of these teams that win the Super Bowl, no one expects. They get that young quarterback. Well, the Giants really wasn't a young quarterback, but it took a little bit longer. But like a lot of these teams, like Patrick Mahomes, when he first came up, it takes like the first couple of years to get that star quarterback going. They build a team around them.
I know it sounds crazy, but Joe Flacco. Like Joe Flacco, when he started, was kind of a 500 guy, but a guy with a lot of potential, and then he goes off and has the best quarterback postseason of all time.
Yeah,
he literally was the best quarterback ever in the playoffs that year.
The Joe Flacco situation is so crazy because he was like so good, but never before or after. I mean, he wasn't like a bum before and after, but he wasn't that.
Shortly after that year, the following year, I did a podcast for like 5 years with a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan. And we always had the debate, is Joe Flacco elite? And he would argue to his grave, yes, he is. So now I've been texting him every week in the playoffs. I just keep texting him the question after the Bengals have won the last 3 weeks. No, I ask him, is Joe Burrow an elite quarterback? And his answer has been no every week. So we'll see after the Super Bowl. But Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Is he an elite quarterback? Or is he already an elite quarterback?
I don't know. When you say elite, I think you have to like kind of prove it through like years, at least a couple.
So who are the elite quarterbacks then, Matt? Because I
want to say I love me some Joe Burrow. He's so good at cigars. He's having a good time. I love Joe Burrow, and I really hope he wins the Super Bowl. And I like his answer, like when he has a diamond necklace thing going on, and they're like, "Is that real?" He's like, "I make too much money for it not to be real."
I make too much money for it to be fake.
He's the only person that could say that and not sound arrogant, because he's like, it's just the honest truth. Like, what am I play in the NFL. I'm a quarterback. I'm gonna go around here with a fake diamond necklace. Like, what's going on? But elite quarterbacks name some quarterbacks. I'll tell you if they're elite. Obviously the Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers,
right.
All the guys.
I mean, I guess it's up to you, right? I think the other guys in the conversation then. So we got Rodgers, we got Mahomes, we got the obvious ones out of the way. Tom Brady is a yes, but he's not a quarterback anymore, which is still wild to come to terms with. I tweeted the other day, I'm 23 years old. I've never seen an NFL season that I remember without Tom Brady, other than 2008 when he was hurt. I mean, that's wild. All right, wild. So Justin Herbert, I guess, is a name you could throw out there.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think obviously
he's very good.
He's either elite or like on the cups. Like the same thing with Burrow.
Right, they're right there.
It's not like disrespect to say that maybe they're not elite, but it's like they're right. They're on their way to being elite.
Russell Wilson.
I think that's the way to say it. Russell Wilson, I don't know if he is now. He was. And I think he probably still is on a different team. And I don't know, maybe my opinion sucks.
Fair enough. No, I tend to agree with everything you said so far.
Yeah.
Let's go to Josh Allen in Buffalo.
Yeah. I think he is because
I think so.
I think he's right there, and I think he's going to grow.
I think he's there. I think he's there.
Yeah, I think he's right there, and I think he's going to be so good. I think he's going to be. I mean, I think he is now, but like after like he sustains it, which he will, I have no doubt. He's going to win MVPs. He's going to do all the things. I think Josh Allen is like ridiculous. He's like Patrick Mahomes, just hasn't proven it all yet. Like he has, you know what I mean, but not. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mahomes is obviously the better quarterback, but like Josh Allen is unfreaking believable.
Yeah, he does it next year. He does it the year after that. Like, which I have
how good
no
was that
doubt
game?
He will. I have no doubt that he will.
How good was that game between Buffalo and Kansas City?
That game like kind of reminded me maybe to a more degree of the Packers and the Cardinals game back in there. Maybe it's
that would have been what, 2009? Was that?
Yeah.
The playoff game that went to overtime? Are you talking about the playoff game? Yeah. Oh, boy.
So, like, that was, like, a ridiculous game. I don't remember exactly how the quarterbacks played. I'm sure they played great because they scored a lot of points. But, like, that Chiefs-Bills game was so ridiculous. Both those teams deserved to win. Yeah. One of them had to lose. The Bills, I guarantee you, Jude, the Bills, I don't know their cap situation. I assume it's good. They got Josh Allen. He's young yet. So I assume they don't have a bunch of cap trouble. But, like, dude, they're going to come back with a vengeance. Like, they're going to come back, like, just
we said that
lose like that.
I mean, they've lost to the Chiefs 2 years in a row now.
That's the thing. They're in a if you put the Bills in the NFC,
they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a whole different situation. Bills are a very good football team.
But then again, I shouldn't say that because let's remember the Bengals just beat the Chiefs. So I don't know, man. It's the NFL, and I've been saying this for a few years, it feels like, but again, this year, just like the most parity ever. You never knew what the hell was going to happen. It felt like every week was legitimately any given Sunday, which is a phrase, obviously, that's been around for over a century. It really was any given Sunday this year.
Yeah, it was.
And the Bengals-Rams Super Bowl is the freaking epitome of that. And that's why the NFL is the best professional sports league in America. It's so much fun. You never know what's going to happen. And again, especially this year, the parity's just been unbelievable. And although the Packers aren't in it, I'm happy with the Super Bowl. I wanted fresh blood. I wanted new teams. Like Chiefs Buccaneers would have been fun again, but I'm really glad we're not getting it.
I totally agree.
Obviously, I'm going to watch it either way. But Bengals Rams is a really fun Super Bowl. But I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be lesser scoring, but I still think it'll be a good game. Like I think maybe I'm just spitballing here. It's the first time I've verbalized how I feel about the Super Bowl all week. I think 21-17-ish. Like I think it'll be medium scoring, good defense, a game that's close throughout. Like that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a good football game.
Yeah, I definitely Aaron Donald's gonna be out there choking people. But I left this comment up because I think this is interesting. Do you think
it's wrong?
No, not right now. But like, do you think Josh Allen obviously is younger than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is on top of the game. Do you think at some point Josh Allen could pass Patrick Mahomes?
Not a chance. I mean, seriously, unless Patrick Mahomes is like a career-ending injury, God forbid. Like, no.
I think that those guys are going to be like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning back in the day. They're going to be going back and forth. They're going to be at each other's throats. Somewhere, I think the Bills are going to get a few. But yeah, I don't.
I think that's really fair, right? Like, I think that is the modern day comparison. I think it makes the most sense. But obviously, it's recency bias. It's this year. Who knows if they'll be able to do it again? But to have Joe Burrow in the conversation, right? Like, with him reigning supreme in the AFC this year, we got to take him into consideration. So it's fun. But yeah, no, Allen is not better than Mahomes. I really don't think there will ever be a chance he will be. Patrick Mahomes, outside of Tom Brady, now he's just trolling. Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be, I guess, what we'll call the second best quarterback we'll ever see. I think talent-wise, he's about to pass Rodgers. And he's got obviously a lot more gas left in the tank. And Patrick Mahomes is I've never seen anybody like him. Aaron Rodgers is so unbelievably talented. Patrick Mahomes is just insane. Like, I don't know how to describe it properly. Like, he is so damn good, Matt. He is so fun to watch.
He's like Aaron Rodgers, but he's got like wheels. Like Aaron Rodgers could run back in the day, but Patrick Mahomes has got, Josh Allen, those guys.
The improvisation, the improv on Mahomes is crazy.
I think that these younger guys, I don't know what they're doing. They're eating their Cheerios, whatever they're doing. But like these guys coming out are just like Lamar Jackson too. Obviously, his teams aren't doing as good right now, but like Lamar Jackson, I think is one of the more fun guys to watch. You put him up there. I'm not gonna obviously he's got some stuff to prove to be up.
But again, Matt, you got to keep in mind he's one of the few guys active in the NFL that's won the MVP. So you obviously can never discount that. I mean, winning.
MVP, I think he'll be back. With,
I mean, he's awesome too. That's a name we left out for sure.
Yeah. So all right, let me ask you this, and then we'll get you out of this thing. So we got like
I'm having the time of my life, Matty. No rush.
Yeah, me too. Well, all right. I don't want to keep you if you got the nanny waiting.
The nanny?
I don't know. That's just what I said. But Joe Burrow, like if you compare these guys, not that we really should, but we got time on our hands. Why not? If you compare like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen type of guys, kind of like Aaron Rodgers, and not to like compare him to, because I think that they're good on their own right. But like Joe Burrow, in the pocket kind of guy, people are saying he's the next Tom Brady because he doesn't run. That's basically what it is. If you run, you're compared to Patrick Mahomes. Yes. If you don't run, you're like Tom Brady.
Right.
So, do you think Joe Burrow has it to like? Obviously, they got a Super Bowl this year. Not that he's gonna win 7, but do you see him coming back? Do you see him leading this team and this Bengals team that I wouldn't say going on a huge long run, but like being competitive for a lot of years?
That's tough. And
I'm a good question asker.
You are so good, Matt. It only took you 2.5 minutes to get there. So
I watch Matt McAfee a lot. He's a long question asker.
He is. Like I believe he can compete, but the AFC is so freaking stacked. And if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos, that's just another great quarterback in the mix. I believe he can compete, and I think the Bengals are for real. I don't think this happens on accident, but that's a tough division. I mean, Baltimore is always good. Tough. Cleveland has a lot to prove, and it looks like the Steelers are going to partially rebuild as they look for their next franchise quarterback. So, I totally believe he's for real. My answer is yes.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be in it. I think this AFC, when it comes to the playoffs for the next lot of years, it's going to be really fun to watch with all these top quarterbacks. Big shout out to you, Marcus. Hey, he's not a troll, he says. All right, Alex, he's not a troll.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he's not a troll. These are his thoughts, man.
Hey, man,
These are his thoughts.
you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm also entitled to tell you your opinion's nuts.
No, he's having a good time. We're all having a good time.
No,
Yeah,
happy
so
you're along, Marcus. Appreciate you
I think
watching.
the NFL is in great shape. With obviously Rodgers is still lingering around. Well, at least for now, he didn't make his decision yet. If he's
I'd
gonna
hope
come
by the
back
end of
at
the
all.
month, man. I'd hope by the
Yeah,
end of the month.
I think he's coming back. It depends on where he's gonna come back. The thing is, like I was saying, it's because he said he's gonna go on Pat McAfee. I think they weren't sure if he was joking or not.
Yeah,
But
I
like
couldn't tell,
if he
but I
comes
did hear
back,
that.
if he does come back to come on Pat McAfee to make his decision, it's not gonna be I want to trade. It's gonna be whether I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna retire. I think that's the decision he would come with on their show. I don't think he'd come on their show and be like, I'm demanding a trade live on the air. I don't think that he would do
Well, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I guess
I think
don't
that
know.
would be, unless he already had a conversation with the Packers, maybe the news.
But then it's getting leaked, yeah.
Yeah,
and then he's
coming
gonna get
on
Schefter.
like, yeah, Schefter will be on the case, whether it's true or not.
Hey, can I want to stand off on that for a second, because Schefter got dragged for like 4 days after he reported Brady retired. And he was right. And last year he got dragged for saying Aaron Rodgers was upset with the Packers. And he was right. I just don't get why people are so quick to get on Adam Schefter, because I don't think the dude has actually ever missed. And I could be wrong, but mostly everything he said has been correct. And although it's, and the Brady one's tough because obviously, like, he's the greatest player of all time. I understand Adam Schefter wants the news, but Brady also deserves to do that on his own. So it's a teeter-totter for me on that one. But regardless, Schefter's always been right. So that's I've never understood that.
See, the thing with me is Schefter, like with the Rodgers thing last year, I wasn't mad because he was right. But like I felt like it was pinpointed. I'm going to release this day to benefit ESPN's ratings. And like even with the Brady news, they said, "Hey, Tom Brady's retiring. More coming up on the pregame show for the NFC Championship game." Like,
well, yeah, of course that's on purpose. That's how the business.
I think it's like Adam Schefter he's a news breaking guy. That's his job.
That's his job.
So that's like someone's digging a ditch, but you're having a picnic. They're like, "Well, I still got to dig the ditch. I don't care about your picnic. I get paid to dig this ditch. Maybe you don't have a picnic here." But but that's kind of his job. So he's like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, you want to retire, you want to announce it, but like my job is to tell people." So like I don't hate Adam Schefter.
It's odd, right? But
I hate like kind of the business.
More my point. More my point was like I just don't understand anybody questioning something he's reporting being legitimate or not, because
that's like
there's no way he's getting trolled, right? Like there's no way
he is. But the thing is, I believe that like Aaron Rodgers has a bad game, he gets dragged, even if it's not his fault. Like even like a quarterback, not even Aaron Rodgers. Let's just say a quarterback throws 4 touchdowns, whatever, 300 yards. They lose the game because the other quarterback on his side does the same, does really good too. And then so that they technically lose the game, even though they did their job, and they get dragged. It's the same thing like with these media guys. Like sometimes they get dragged, even though they did their job. There's people that are going to have opinions, right or wrong.
Right.
Sometimes wrong, but they're like public people. So like, I don't think that Schefter cares. I think that he's doing all right.
I think he's doing just fine.
But yeah, I agree. Like I posted something today and it was via Adam Schefter on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, are you sure?" Like,
You secondhand experience that. Like,
yeah,
I see him report. Like, I don't know if he actually reported this. I'm just going to throw out something for an example. Like,
well, it's a Harbaugh thing he reported.
Right. I mean, there's that. But like, I was just going to say, like, if let's say he tweeted Packers tight end coach Justin Alton getting hired as Broncos offensive coordinator, and everybody will be in his mentions like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Yes, he's freaking sure. He's sure. I know he's sure because he's right. He always is.
Yeah, I question about the timing of some of the stuff he did, but that's his job. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
What do you do?
I don't hate Adam Schefter. Like, I don't. I might comment on his tweets.
Did you comment? Are you sure?
No, I don't comment that. I'm more clever than that. But I'm a troll by nature. That's what I do. I troll, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I'm a better troll than I am a podcaster.
You're pretty good at both. Pretty good at both.
My Facebook troll game is pretty good. Like Viking pages always pop up, and I just like I'll comment like LOL because they'll be like celebrating something. They hired someone, and I'll write LOL. They're like, "Go to hell, Packer fan," because I'm like they know who I am because I'm always in there, and they just they eat it up. You know what I mean? Like I just like throw it out there and just reel it in, and then I just don't respond again. And they're on there for like 3-4 hours just telling me how big of a piece of crap I am. And it's funny because they'll be like, I listened to your podcast and it sucked. I'm like, why would you listen to my podcast if you're a Vikings fan?
Appreciate the listen.
But I appreciate, you know, I mean, I hope you shared it. Maybe grandma wants to hear it too. But yeah, so before we end this thing, who I'm not sure if you said already, who do you got winning the Super Bowl? And then, unless you don't want to say it because you want to say it on the radio.
I haven't said it yet. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably flip-flop like 6 times between then and when the Super Bowl actually happens. So it's okay. I'll say it now. Okay, we're going to go back to something I said at the very beginning of this podcast. My gut tells me the Rams. My heart tells me the Bengals. I don't know. I think the Rams will, probably.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, go get one for Matt Stafford, get Sean McVay one.
And like Aaron
I would love to see them one. Oh yeah, Von Miller.
As far as the Rams, I know he chokes people. People don't like him for that. But look, Aaron Donald, I've heard him like mic'd up the last couple of years, and like I don't think it was last year. It might have been last year. I don't remember what year it was, but like they lost in the playoffs or whatever. And if it was last year, it was against the Packers. But like how hurt he was, he's like, I'll be back. And like he's such a dedicated dude to his craft. That's why he chokes people sometimes. You know, if you're that dedicated, sometimes you got to choke people.
Like, I mean, he's
I don't condone choking.
As funny as that is,
I think that he's so.
He's the greatest.
Like, he just wants to be great. Yeah, he wants to be great. He wants to win a championship.
He's the best defensive front player we've seen since what, Strahan?
Yeah,
if not Reggie White. Like it is ridiculous.
He's very good.
He is very good. Yeah, he deserves one. So I would love to see him win one. But I'd go with the Rams. What about you? Where are you at right now? Are you hanging on to it?
Bengals. I appreciate you, Kyle. But yeah, I do. My brain does not work. I go all heart. I got the Bengals. Yeah, and like obviously the Rams are a good football team, I think. But like Stafford, sometimes I wonder like what Stafford's gonna show up. Sometimes he's out there, Christmas shopping, throwing out gifts. Call him Santa Claus. But I think overall he's a good quarterback, and if they do win, I'll be happy for Stafford. Because, I think.
How can't you be, right? Like,
yeah, I'll be happy for. But I want the Bengals to win so bad. Just because, like, they're a small fan base, and whatever they call it, market, and I respect like any fan base that stands by their team. Like when they did not win for a long time. Like they haven't really done that much winning since like Carson Palmer, Ochocinco, and they didn't win it all then. So they haven't won a Super Bowl, or they haven't went to a Super Bowl since like 88, 89, whatever year it was that they went. And I actually was wrong because I said one day they haven't won a Super Bowl. People were calling me out, but I'm buzzed up during half these shows, so bear with me. But they haven't went to a Super Bowl since the late 80s, and I feel like that fan base deserves it. And a lot of people are like, you don't deserve nothing until you get it. But like I think that if you're a writer,
what the hell does that even mean?
People were saying that to me. You deserve. I get it. Like I don't deserve nothing, but like
you deserve nothing until you get it. That makes no goddamn sense.
It's sports. As a fan base, we have no contribution. We don't contribute. I mean, we're not like part of the winning process. But I think that when you ride with your team for so long, there's 60-year-olds, Bengal fans who's like, just let them have their happiness. Rams fans, I mean, they'll be all right. They live in L.A.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
And they should. I don't think any of the Ram fans live in, Oklahoma or anything.
What about St. Louis?
Oh, St. Louis people, yeah.
Are they still Rams fans? Or are they Chiefs fans now?
I think they're St. Louis. I think
I
don't think that if you're a real fan, not to say like the real fan thing, but like if you were a diehard St. Louis Rams fan, I don't think you can just turn it off. I'm sure some did because they were angry. They were like, "The hell with them."
Well,
I'm gonna root for this team.
like I know San Diego residents are not Chargers fans anymore because they
Yeah,
lost.
because I get that, like, being angry.
I think
would
like
be.
are Raiders fans from Oakland still fans? Now they're like, I don't know how that works. I really hope the Packers never
I think
leave,
it's like individually.
so I don't have to find out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that couldn't happen for us. But I tried to envision. I was like, that can't happen. But like, I think it all depends. Like, because I'm sure it's like that grief thing you're talking about, anger, sadness, depression, whatever.
No, let's try that again. Let's try that again.
I don't
know.
Denial. Denial. Yeah. Anger.
Bargaining.
Depression.
No, bargaining.
We got bargaining.
Depression.
First. I'm never going to remember this stuff. But yeah, so I'm sure, like, if you get past the anger part, you might still ride with that team. But, like, if you can't, and you're just like, you moved my team, to hell with you. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to buy your hats and your jerseys anymore. I'm going to pick a new team because you moved. I'm angry. I get that. I wouldn't even be mad at you. Like, if you're a St. Louis Rams fan and they moved from St. Louis and went to L.A., especially going to L.A., that's, like, the worst part. And then nothing against L.A. There's good people in L.A., but, like, that's just a money grab. You know what I mean? That's just, and then nothing against L.A. I know a lot of California people, good people, live in L.A. Leonardo DiCaprio's out there.
Good person. Good friend of mine.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I was just talking the other day, and he was just telling me, watch my movie. No, that was on Twitter. Anyways, it's always good to talk to Alex Strouf. He has a Facebook page. Are you active on Facebook?
I'm a little active on Facebook. I do my best.
If you're watching, with 13 people are, so not many, but
good for us.
My lowest viewed live, and like I don't know what year it was, but
wow, good for us.
I think it'll be a good podcast. A lot of people will watch and rewatch. People go to bed. People got to work early. I appreciate everyone in the chat who tuned in. What's up, Iowa Joe, Marcus, Kyle, Andrew. Let's get I appreciate you guys. We're gonna wrap this thing up. I really do appreciate everyone tunes in live and people who watch on the repost or whatever. People who listen on the podcast, whether it's on iTunes or Spotify, all the places. Check out MattRamageshop.com. I got some new merch coming out, and buy some. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Alex Strouf. Follow him on Twitter, Alex_Strouf. He's on the gram. He's on Facebook. He's on all the places that people post things. And go Pack, go people. Thanks for tuning in. I had fun, Alex. I hope you did.
Had a blast. Always great talking with you, Matty. Let's do it again soon. It was way too long this time around.
It was way too long. I feel like we
I could have gone for 3 more. I could go for 3 more hours.
I could too. We'll do it again. Maybe next week or the week after. Maybe after Super Bowl. Or maybe
set something up. Let's do it.
Whenever you want. Check this out. I'm gonna throw some music on. We're gonna go out and like I can't dance, but that's gonna be a GIF. I'll make that a GIF. Appreciate y'all for listening. Big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. I had a good time. Alex probably did too. Let's get out this thing, people.